Washington may finally be reopening, viewers. That's right. After 5 tense weeks, the US Senate has finally reached a bipartisan deal to end the longest-running government shutdown in American history. Lawmakers voted 60-40 to move forward on a funding bill. Now, this was made possible after 8 centrist Democrats struck the deal with Republican leaders and the White House itself. Well, they've agreed to reopen the government in exchange for a future vote on affordable care subsidies. The plan still, however, needs House approval, and a single senator also could delay the process for days together. However, it's the strongest signal yet that the shutdown's end is in sight. Meanwhile, the impact is still rippling across the country, literally from coast to coast. In the latest, air travel remains stalled and food aid remains frozen. This as Americans still hope Washington finally gets back to work. Now, if the deal holds up, it could reopen the government before Thanksgiving itself, thus also giving very federal workers and travelers the break that they've been waiting for.
Vote, the yeas are 60 and the nays are 40. 3/5 of the Senate duly chosen and sworn, having voted in the affirmative. The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
Meanwhile, air traffic in the United States could slow to a trickle if the federal government shutdown lingers into busy Thanksgiving travel holiday season. The Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, has warned. The Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, last week ordered flight cuts at the nation's busiest airports as some air traffic controllers who have gone unpaid for nearly a month have stopped showing up for work altogether. Now, these reductions, viewers, started Friday at 4% and will increase all the way to 10% by the 14th of November. That's next week, Friday on next week. They, in fact, are in effect from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. local time and will also affect all commercial airlines. Meanwhile, on Sunday, more than 1,700 flights were cancelled as of 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and nearly 5,000 more flights were delayed. Now, this also follows more than 1,500 cancellations on the previous day, Saturday. Meanwhile, listen into some travelers.
The other day, getting from Mobile to here, my original flight got canceled, but I was able to get on an earlier flight, so it really didn't affect me at all. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
Everything looked like it was good until you get the notification as you're on your way. Oh, you got a delay. That's what happened with me.
Stay with the U.S., where Donald Trump has issued a wave of pardons this time for key allies tied to the 2020 fake electors scheme. Among those granted clemency, Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesebro, the very lawyers accused of trying to overturn the election results. The White House, meanwhile, has released the list late Sunday. 77 people in all, including several former Trump campaign and administration officials alike, linked to the January 6 investigations. Now, very notably here, viewers, Trump himself has not been pardoned in connection to the scheme. Now, the pardons come as the Senate voted to end the 40-day government shutdown, turning some say, as a strategic distraction from renewed focus back on 2020. Meanwhile, critics are calling it a brazen rewriting of accountability, while Trump allies are saying it's about closure and moving forward. The legal and political fallout, meanwhile, could be far from over this, as Washington weighs what these pardons mean for justice, precedent, and the next elections.